Today is ridiculous. Onslaughts of people yelling, Judge Pete this, Judge Pete that, calling me dirty words on lies, drugging and framing. You know, they have not even thought of the consequences if somebody would actually do their job. I filed under how to report judges for being misconduct and bias, and then emailed them the case. They better fix it with me and fix it fast. I'm going to go to the press. You know, even with drug dealers, they have to sit outside and surveillance them outside. Why? Because they have the right to privacy. Illegal surveillance is always thrown out. You cannot set up cameras and watch somebody and not beep up police and hire significant like murder, espionage, treason, because the right to privacy throws it out as illegal surveillance. Both police and FBI cannot even do it. You cannot have a conflict of interest. Dave dating Judge Pete's daughter, Michelle, from the courthouse. There was a picture on 9/18/19 of a man that looked like a 1930 barber, little white Santa Claus. Thought it was odd. It said Peter something. And I thought, that's odd. Okay. And I looked loud, and then him and Timothy did that skit outside my room. Before you had us look into it, you knew she couldn't handle it. You knew she appreciated us doing it. You can find she did nothing wrong. Then Judge Pete walks by and Judge Timothy comes and laughs and ready to begin. I thought they were talking about me. I didn't realize at that time because everybody, even in Walmart, the case is called Karen's Well Agency. I thought the FBI was mistreating me, some of the guys. And the other ones were protecting me. It was the boys in the courthouse. And for Judge Pete. And for his daughter, Michelle. And they got that dirty attorney. And they have some guy named Steve, Eric, Kurt, Chris, Mark, Christine. I told you about that weird guy. They said something about a Terrence and an African-American man jumped out of a shoe aisle in Walmart around January 19. You know my name, you know my name. You don't quit praying about everything. I'll make you stand somewhere for 8 hours so you can't pray anymore. I ignored him. He's weird. I didn't talk to these people, nor have I ever had any officer, agent, come talk to me about anything dirty. I told you I called the hotline because Dave had said his girlfriend's family was rich and powerful, and her family owned the police. And I wouldn't be able to withstand. I told him it's not a communist country. Nobody owns the police. The police decide if they're going to do their job or not. And then they become the villains if they don't. And so do judges. And they cannot be in a case for friends, family, or even religion. That if it's a conflict of interest. Being an informant for the FBI against Dave in those churches, I seen a guy that looked like Judge Timothy and an apostolic woman walk in with him. He's up there quoting scriptures instead of arresting Dave for his crimes. And they let him go, and they knew what he did. The boys in the courthouse worked the case. And they let him go. They let him beat me with internal injuries, damaged my rib cage. They broke in and stabbed me with needles in my sleep, lied to people they had sodium pentothal reports. They abducted me out of my home and put a neurochip in my head on 12/21/18. Blamed the FBI. It wasn't the FBI. They have blamed the FBI for everything. And when my friend that is a prosecutor talked to an agent, said that they didn't do any of this. I only talked to Will at the Canton branch of the FBI. I called the hotline. Took 2 days for Will to call back and 4 days for me to get the courage to call him back. And on the night before, I told you where I'd been crying so hard I got up, mowed the lawn, called Sarah, at Kay's Strollers. And I'm like, Sarah, will you witness for me? Yes, Karen, I'm scared for you. And I bought her a card for getting married and put Wilt's number in there. And we took it out to uh, the mall and went on to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Sarah was already gone, and the manager put it in her locker. Okay. We get up there. Paul Paymer gets in. Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. Spit an image of Timothy Ludick. Could be his kid. Black hair, dark eyes, black glasses. White, 30-ish, late 30s, early 40s. 5'9", 5'10", 165, 170, about my kid's size. He could be his kid, it's that close. None of that was the FBI. They don't tell on you. And then Will wouldn't ask me to stay quiet if he'd known. And I was so upset with crying so hard. I left so much crap out. It was the overwhelm in my face. Because there's no reason to stay quiet. They told Dave, which Dave was, they told Paymer yelled at Dave, and Dave and I got into it. And, stay quiet while they investigate when everybody knows. And that wasn't, they had pretended they were FBI and they weren't. But I'm ready to get CNN down here and everyone and storm that courthouse. They have blamed it on the agency, that it was an agent that raped me, and more likely it was a dirty undercover officer, because it was a dark gray truck that followed me from Ravenna. I go to Faith Family Church on 77. They would know who he is, because that idiot came in the back of the church in front of 1,000 people, threatened to arrest me, and one of the ushers in my church yelled at him, "What you did was considered rape, you leave her alone." And he's a 6 foot, 200-pound man, bald, with dark eyes, drove a dark gray truck. All you have to do is find out who drove a dark gray truck in 18 and 19 that worked for the undercover police. Because there was that one, a light gray truck that followed me down here, a black one, a white one, and a medium blue one that were surrounding me from that courthouse. There's so much that throws their illegal surveillance out. It has to be police and higher significant investigation, like murder, espionage, treason, or the right to privacy throws it out. Okay? You can't do bedrooms, nudes, and you can't have a conflict of interest, and you can't share. You can't leave the person of interest out and not speak to him one time to make sure there's a probable cause. There was no murder investigation until I called Will. And that would be the only reason that they could be there, because there was no treason or espionage. Like I said, even drug lords, they sit out in undercover trucks and vans and watch them. Why? Because they can't go in and set cameras up and watch them and get their drug deals. Exactly. They send people in undercover, but they can't set up and watch them with cameras, because the right to privacy would throw it out. And with it being Judge Pete's daughter, and then there was Lauren, a heavy-set girl, and a pretty dark-haired girl, all connected to the courthouse. And they did all this for Judge Pete's daughter, Michelle. That's why the police in that area would have to excuse herself, and it would have had to went federal. You can't include another police department. You can't go from county to county, because it becomes jurisdictions, and it has to be federal. They would have had to go to the FBI. Some guy in a race car drove by and yelled out, "Those idiots," would have had to come to us. Now, I am tired. I am gonna have the news swarm that courthouse. They have pretended to be FBI. They blamed that chip on the FBI. It wasn't them. It was that courthouse. They use it in paralyzed patients in Cleveland Clinic so that they can talk through cell phones. They can run robots. They can play video games, and they can type with their eyes. They're very real. They're medical field stuff. All you have to do is Google man plays video game with brain chip. Man types computer with brain chip. It comes up, even the one that they put in me without my permission, that it answers into cell phones. They've had them since 2006. They're just medical field stuff. But it is an illegal strategy for the truth. Our government, we have the right to remain silent. Legal representation, if you can't afford one will be appointed to you. You have the right to privacy. And we have a constitution that protects everything that's happening here from happening. That judges and police cannot become mob lords and go in and Photoshop the wife, drug her, and tell her to say something stupid and have no idea and torment her with it. So they can get away with extortion, premeditated murder, possibly murder, illegal surgeries, beat, rape, torture. There was 5 judges that had people raped and framed. 41 lives. They went to jail 6 to 20 years. 139 judge refused to excuse herself for being biased and went to jail also. It's either 10-year sentence or $1 million fine. I'll tell you what, this will not happen. They follow me. They scream, Judge Pete this, Judge Pete that. It's Michelle's father, Dave's girlfriend. And it's those dirty undercover officers from that courthouse that had drugged me, framed me, even were doing it before, photoshopping me, breaking their crimes. They sold a real estate and federal investigation. They talk about by the end of Christmas to the beginning of January of 19, inside Walmart, the agents are selling the login for money, and then the $25 a pop. I was thinking, I had, Dixie had witnessed in Wendy's in Maslin. Now, I told you about the, December 16th or 18th, I had met Darlene for pie. There was a big bald man with red beard and glasses sitting with a lady that I'm a psychiatrist. She needs one. And then there's 4 men sitting at another table. Those are my men, easy boys. Yeah, right. They did not have badges. They didn't. Yeah, you just don't sit behind someone. Well, they had showed up at after Brielle was born, okay? And they were in Wendy's when before December 9th. They were sitting at a table, and there was 4 large men in front of the pop station. Give your jewelry back. I said, give your jewelry back. You hear me? I said, give all that jewelry back. I turned around and they said, you heard me. And they got their arms crossed, screaming at me, and I'm holding Brielle, and she's a brand new baby, and there's a head on her lap. And I kept looking at that baby, and I thought, if I give the jewelry back, they'll stop. They'll get $18,000 in jewelry. They'll just leave me alone. I gave it back. I told Dave I didn't want any more. They never stopped. Dixie witnesses, she's seen it, heard it, and went up and went and got my pop because they were blocking the pop station. They did it in front of people. The one of those idiots, he had white hair that was part of those so-called handlers men, was sitting in there once. Grab her straw. Grab her straw. Now, I have been stabbed with needles so much I was throwing up all the time. I weighed 212 to 217. And when I left Dave, I was 150 pounds. And so from the beginning of October of 18, and when I moved out April 4th, I had went down that much. It was almost 70 pounds. That's ridiculous. It was 60 plus pounds. There was times I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week, not only from his beating on the stairs because I didn't answer my phone, to popping me in the ribs, to they were breaking in. I would get up, walk Dave to the door, lock the door, set the security system. I would lock my bedroom door, and at times I thought I'd hear a footstep, and I just thought, well, it's just my imagination, and roll over and go back to sleep. And I'd have a bruise on me when I get up in the morning, and the security system would be off, and there'd be leaves in the kitchen. They braked in Walmart. They were using sodium pentothal on me. They don't use it. It's a lethal outlaw drug that you say yes to everything. You can't enter a drug confession. It's drugs and kidnapping, and that would even be considered attempted murder. No officer, no agent, no man, no lady, no attorney, nobody came talk to me, ever, okay? You can't just go in and set up cameras and watch someone because Dave's dating a judge's daughter. Matter of fact, they would have had to call the FBI and say, we got this case, it's a conflict of interest, we can't even look at it because it'll get thrown out. But they set it up and was photoshopping me the March 2nd to the 3rd, breaking with the neighbors. They're going to put 2 clips together and put it in porn, so it's simple wiping off water with clothes on to you're weird with yourself, this, and they put a shower scene, they said. Laughing at me that it's not funny, and then I have witnesses that they did it. I have more in too. But that idiot was sitting in Wendy's. The blonde hair guy, actually it was white hair. He said, grab her straw, We don't get it this time, we'll get it next. Now they're stabbing me with needles, okay? Why would you want my straw? And it's either right before, Why would you want my straw? They eventually cut my head open and put a cell phone in it. Abducted me and kidnapped me out of my home. Did illegal surgery on me. And they can't even blame Melissa's kids for lying because they caught them stating out of their mouth Thanksgiving of 18. We made up the whole thing to Flora. And then they told Department Building for me, second one to confess, those kids were lying. And I got a whole bunch of other people knowing they were lying and that they drugged me before, including Dave. And they've talked to people with patches. Okay? And the one guy said, we're going to build a case without her. You can't. You cannot have a case without the person of interest. You can't run around, even though you know she's innocent, drug her, tell her to say something stupid, and the only thing she's got on her is a mark on her, and she had used amnesia drugs on her, and she has no idea when people are saying stuff to her in stores, what are you talking about? I've never met you, nor have I talked to you. Who are you? You can't break in some lady's home, stab her with a needle, tell her to say something stupid, set up cameras, watch somebody, then Photoshop them, and then say, you know what, we're going to put you in jail for our crimes. We did this to you. We drugged you. We Photoshopped you. Dave's dating Judge Pete's daughter, and we're going to get you for it. We framed you. We don't care you're innocent. They want to be stupid mob lords. Stupid one. Real ones would be saying, we don't know how that poor lady got hurt. And blaming the FBI on their crimes of rape, torture, neurotripping, and they said none of this was that. None of it. It was undercover police in that courthouse and Judge Pete and his goons. Now, I'll tell you what, if I have to get the press down here and get the press in everybody's face, if I have to picket the press with signs of the neurochip And trust me, they even sold the app to the neurochip that where it's a real thing. You can think and it says yes, now, whatever you're thinking into the cell phone. Some little kid had it. Got out of her phone, got out and had her little phone and said, oh my goodness, she's going to say something to that lady. They said, I know, none of them think it's funny. I can tell you all the different places they did it. Dr. Ellen and Tina said Altman Hospital will tell you. You can pull the tapes of March 13th, 2:53 p.m. of last year, 3/13/21. They tell them some ambassador neuroreceptor, and they said the agency did it. Yeah, they have blamed the agency for everything, and it was them pretending to be FBI. They told Ed, a maintenance man at Oakland apartment, I think it's 4805 Cleveland Avenue, if not it's 3805, but it's Oakland apartment, that on December 9th at 4 o'clock, you find out who he talked to. It was a group of men doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone would actually stop him, and all the tapes before were them. The bald man with dark eyes that worked December 9th at the Hunger Task Force, told him the same thing. And he said it in front of people. We always knew those tapes before were them, not her. So we never said anything to her. And I can go through all the different people that know Melissa's lied. She was considered fucking shit. My family should be ashamed of. Mean jokes. Somebody else looked into it last January. The whole thing was a mean joke. It was. They got caught on Thanksgiving of 18 that, on Thanksgiving of 18 that, on Thanksgiving of 18 that, they, were making the whole thing up to Flora. They told the apartment building for me, second one close to the fence, those kids, they were lying. Their mom knew that Dave drugged me before and told me to say whatever it is. The lady at 1295 Fairlawn Middle Apartment screamed at him for the church people to break it in before drugging me and telling me to say weird old molester stuff. Wendy's crew, May 25th, was talking about it in front of my old client Jeff, which told Jim and Brian, and there was a bunch of people in town calling them bastards. October 5th, Huntington Bank, Cleveland Avenue, a group of ladies stating we don't want Melissa getting any money out of this. That's okay. They knew they made everything up. They just didn't want anybody to help her. October 2nd to the 3rd, I'm at Mercy Medical. The lady told an officer she's an informant. I help watch her. He said, and they're all lying to her. That's okay. I'll make sure that nobody says anything to her. And then there's girls in there making fun of me for being raped. I mean, this case just swirls and swirls around me. And it's the dirty undercover officers from that courthouse. They even admitted it was the boys drugging me. I was in Walmart 62. There is June 23rd. I am at the paint aisle, and I'm there like 10, 15 days right around that time. They taped an audio in every aisle there. There's women by the paint aisle. They walk her into the next aisle. Oh my goodness, the boys had a drugger to make her say that stuff. Nobody mentions those tapes. And right before I get there, there's two investigators. What are these people talking about? What are these people talking about? We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She never heard anyone. Okay. Walgreens, what is it? December 20, in Massillon, December 22nd or 3rd, I'm getting my client his COVID virus booster. And there's ladies in the back that help watch me. I've seen them before. I don't know who they are. So they come and laugh, and they really did speak highly of her. Then I go by the candy aisle, and there's a lady and a guy, and they go into the next aisle. I told you I seen her out the other day. He said I thought they were done with her, and I'm just mad. How dare you let them touch me? And boy, I knew they made everything up. And she's like, these people need to go to jail for this. He's like, I know they do. And he's rambling. And I'm so upset I start stuttering. Um, so, I mean, I can keep going. Mentors, what is it? It's the beginning of November. What is it? November. Oh, I'd have to look it up. It's, I think, the 9th. I'm in Plato's closet first. They give her those amnesia drugs she'll never remember. Go in, mentors, old lady. Um, I found out those kids made everything up. I told these boys to stop saying stuff to her. Well, they already knew. 8:15 at night. Um, Out in the distance, did you know he fentanyl her and told her to say it? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They already knew the kids were lying. So they knew. May 25th, after Wendy's was talking about the church people breaking in before, telling me to say weirdo molester stuff, that Sunday afternoon, the heavyset girl from with blonde hair came down from Ravenna. There's some of the goons sitting at the end of Fairlawn Street. She's out there yelling so the whole street can hear. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her to say it before. Encompassing. Okay. But yeah, you cannot you cannot build a case without the person of interest. You have to go out and ask them a question to see if there's a probable cause. Then you can ask witnesses. Then you take it to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor takes it to a judge. They have a right to remain silent, legal representation. You have a right to a trial. You cannot just do all this behind somebody's back and say, now we got you. And because we've rugged you, we framed you, we photoshopped you. This is crazy shit. And it's crazy illegal shit. Uh, they told Ed that it's a group of men down here doing as many crimes as they can to see if someone will stop him. It's exactly what it is. They have sold September 27th. I talked to Will at the Canton FBI. The 28th, he activated the men of 18. Nothing before. Nothing before. Nothing. If they even admit they have a tape before illegal surveillance, they go to jail and they have to compensate me. It's called law states. It also states that attorneys can only tape you out in public. They cannot tape you in your home. If they do, it's illegal surveillance. It's thrown out and they do have to compensate you and they go to jail. A judge cannot give them a court order, and nor can a court order come out of Portage County because of conflict of interest, friends and family with him dating Michelle, Judge Pete's daughter. Then he was dating a Lauren, a heavyset girl, that blonde one that came down, and then a real pretty dark hair girl, all connected to the guys in the courthouse. Where they stayed out of the gunshot night because Dave's girlfriend's prettier, and the guy running it didn't blame him, and find out it's her father. Um, we have to leave her in high danger or you'll get in trouble pulling her out from the gunshot night and almost getting shot in the head driving going down to John's when it first started. Um, this has been absolutely insanity. I do need someone to step in and take care of this. There's laws, as the prosecutor said, one of the prosecutor, Walter, um, there's laws to protect you from everything here. There was no murder investigation, no treason, no espionage. Like I said, even drug investigations, they have to surveillance you outside. They do. They do. They cannot set up, they may send somebody in undercover, but they cannot set up cameras and watch them. Why? Because of the right to privacy and all their evidence to be thrown out. Illegal surveillance is always thrown out. And you can't just do it because we like the girlfriend better. And matter of fact, that's exactly why it couldn't come out of that courthouse. They can't reach into Stark County. Stark County can't reach into Stark. Stark County can't reach into Portage. It becomes jurisdictions and then it has to go federal. It's steps and levels of where it has to go. And you can't have other counties interfere in other counties because they have no jurisdiction. Now, I want this chip out. It's not funny. I have the dent the size of an egg. I may have a septal infract in my heart where I literally, they broke in and drugged me so much, and I was so out of it. Just to even leave, I'd be lucky to get back alive if I had to fight shooters or stalkers. And then Dave beating on me. I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week. 5 to 7 pounds a week. One point, I had 6 injection marks on one leg and 2 on the other. They had stuck me that many times, so close to keep me with amnesia drugs, telling me to say stupid stuff. They would literally, the only thing that stops them is blocking the door. You can lock your door. You can have a security system. They can turn it off. They break in and stab you with a needle. You have a little bump on your leg or your arm, thinking, where did I bump it? Then all of a sudden, we got you drugged saying this, and you never met them. And then they threaten you with their crimes. Well, we set up cameras and watched you. We photoshopped you in a porn. We're going to put you in jail. It's crazy. It's like, I tell people, if you want the top 10 stupidest wanted list, they're right outside my door. They're literally right outside my door. They'll say, this poor lady, Dave was dating Judge Pete's daughter, so we set up cameras and watched her. And then we put 2 clips together, March 2nd or 3rd. We put her in a porn. Don't worry about her, it's them. And then they put a shower scene and had to brag it and laugh at me. We didn't. Chris, is it the truth? No man ever talked to her? No, we used truth serum on her. They were stabbing me. I didn't have bruises from moving wood. It was from them. They're insane. No man ever talked to me. No lady, no officer, no agent, no attorney. And if there was a real accusation, they would have came out and said, Mrs. Hall, we need to talk to you about this. And I'd say, what are you talking about? I'll take care of my kid and I'll take care of my ex-daughter-in-law. She ain't funny. I'd be all over. Nobody ever said a word. Because they would have came out and asked me. Then they would have checked with witnesses, and if there was a probable cause, then they would have took it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor would decide if they took it to trial and then had it out in court. All this crazy stuff don't happen. The only time they can watch you in your home has to be police and hire, murder, espionage, treason, because the right to privacy throws it out. It's illegal surveillance. No attorney can watch you in your home. It is illegal. They have to do it out in public. They can only hire like one investigator. They can't hire a fleet of people to follow you around harassing you, calling you dirty words. It's stalking. Now, I've never talked to an attorney. I never talked to anyone. When I talk to my ex-husband, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, no matter who it is. Be pretty rotten she says anything bad about you here. It's because I expected him to say it. They made up a lie on my middle kid, and I called him. He verified it. People screamed and drove the other way as fast as they could and didn't come back. Realized some lady was having her kid in the laundromat make fun of me for being raped. And she looked down at her phone and said, cut it out. They're manipulating all of us. See, they're slowly realizing how big of fools they are going along with this. They act like they have no IQ. This is not the law. This is people that you want to talk about a miscarriage of justice, an abuse of power. Once the police do not uphold the law, they are no longer the police, they are now villains. Judges that abuse their powers that are entrusted in them to uphold the law and the Constitution. If they do it for anything that is wrong, they are no longer judges. They are now villains. And it stops the mob lord thing of the police helping a judge get everything and destroy the wife. Do you realize I live 10.6 miles out of town? In the middle of a woods, in the middle of countryside. Hardly even went to that town. I shop the other way, like the one guy said, it's habits. I lived in Perry Township in Maslin. I shopped in Canton. in Maslin for 25 years, so I just drove down and did my regular shopping. I did what I did for 25 years. Yeah, they're habits. And it just, yeah, I hardly had anything to do with that town. And Michelle's mother, Memorial Day weekend 2019, for it's my daughter, food counter, old white woman, African American man, for it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she had a stomach spell. It's for my daughter they did all this for. And our family down here watching her doing this. And for who it's Karen's rich boyfriend, but the state of Ohio who protects her, screaming it from the food counter to the register. Last month, I went down to Fine Arts and Lasers. There was a man outside my room. We found that tape of that idiot woman stating they did all this for her daughter, Judge Pete's wife. Like I said, they would have excused herself from everything. Melissa's kids were caught standing. They were making everything up to Flora on Thanksgiving of 18. Okay? Every mean game of pretend. And then they told the other kids they were lying, and the police had already caught them lying to Melissa, telling them to say it. And then all these people knowing they were lying. And their thing from just simply wiping off water with clothes on, like they told Mercy Medical on March 13th, the only thing they had you on was adjusting yourself. And she said, that's sick. The guy said, that's sick. She said, no, it's funny. And then in Rite Aid, April in Louisville, April 1st to May 10th, you didn't expose yourself, you're good. Then the 2 clips, you're weird with yourself, you exposed yourself, you're weird. They have been altered so many times. It's not funny. It matters who's got what. 2 guys walked by my apartment a couple weeks ago, about 8 o'clock at night. I didn't think about what we did before. Can you erase my part out? They were still altering their tapes. That's why they're not admissible. It wasn't controlled. But yeah, and you cannot have an investigation without the person of interest. You cannot even go in and do you can't do this shit. This is mob shit. And it's stupid mob shit. It's real mobsters would just hurt you and then look at you and threaten you and then walk away and say, I have no idea what happened to that person. And they would not leave their name on it. No. And they definitely wouldn't tape it and sell a login to a state case for $25 a pop. I hope the IRS gets them. Now, if I have to get cameras of news cameras all over Portage County Courthouse and saying, did your undercover police do this? Where is Judge Pete? Where's that Judge Timothy Ludick? Why were you over this case? Why didn't you arrest Dave? You want them all over them? I'll put them all over them. You know, there's an officer that came in town. He said a government official was worried about me. And I told him about their tapes before because of whatever, and I didn't know they were doing it. He's like, don't worry about one thing. Nothing before you talk to Will at the FBI. Not one thing. He said they had no right in your home. And I said, well, they said they put clips together and put me on. I don't care. I said they drugged me and told me to say something stupid. I don't care. He said they didn't have a right in your home and we can't look, we can't listen, we can't do anything. It's illegal and they had no right in your home. Don't you worry about a thing. I said, I never talked to anybody. He's like, don't worry about it. Until you talk to Will at the FBI, don't worry about it. And I don't, because it's illegal surveillance. It would be illegal for anybody to even look at it. It's such shit anyways. I mean, Dave's supposed to drug me. Well, I'll tell you what, every time he touched my drinks, I would throw up. And I found out if he couldn't touch my drinks, I didn't throw up anymore. And then they're saying he fentanyl me. Well, I had Darajesic patches from years ago from being sick. Found them in a box. And when I got rid of him responsible at Walgreens, he was pissed. Darajesic is fentanyl. And you put a part of a patch in a coffee, enough of it, you can have permanent amnesia. It's that bad. And they knew it. And they knew he did it. And that's where it's sick. This whole thing is sick. It's sick and it's stupid. And people going along with it. They screamed in the spring, we don't care you're innocent. We don't care. Of course not. They're the villains. They're the rapists, the druggers, the extortionists. They're the ones that are murderers, illegal surgeries, trying to frame the wife. And they run around like they're going to get me. Oh, we have it set up. Nobody will ever help her. You know, nobody is allowed to even look at your tapes. That's where it comes ridiculous. And you realize that? They can't look at it. They can't even bring it from Portage County down here. And Portage County can't say a damn word to me because it was Judge Pete and Michelle. And the guys in the courthouse bragged that they helped because of that bloody whore in the store of Ravenna. And they can't be involved or they'll all go to jail. It's so bad. They would have 100 years in jail if somebody would actually do their job. You want a big case. 5 judges did this to 41 lives. The only thing unique is the chip. They did everything else. And you know what? They end up in jail 6 to 20 years. And 139 went to jail for not refusing to excuse themselves for being biased. It's a 10-year sentence or $1 million fine or both. You can't do any of this and not go to jail. And it's all thrown out. You had no right in my home. And I heard it's really sick stuff they told me to say. Mike, my neighbor, got roofied in a bar. I told you about that. That he drove himself to the bank, drove himself home, out to eat, and came home, and when he changed his shoes, sat down out in his vehicle. He didn't remember how he got home. Not at all. And he finally went back to the bar after 5 months. And they were letting him watch the tape, an audio of it. He told everybody he was an astronaut. He said he has no memory. You don't. That's why they call them date rape drugs. Now, if I have to get CNN, Channel 8, and then start bombing everybody of, why did you do this? Why didn't you arrest Dave? Why didn't you do this? And why did your police help out in crimes? And how dare that courthouse ever think they could say anything? It's under Portage County. Put my name. There's nothing filed. It's just Judge Pete and his goons and that dirty attorney. They could make him pull a fast one down here. They can't. They can't even look at it. It'd be illegal for it. I heard it sick, and I didn't talk to anybody. And they had no right in my home. It comes down to it. They had no right in my home. The Louisville officer is right. They had no right. And that's a right to privacy. It's all photoshopped, drugged. And yeah, I heard they even choked me. They even abused me under those drugs. And that's where some of those bruises were coming from. It wasn't from moving wood. Those sick bastards, and they were stabbing me with needles, and they raped and tortured me and put that on the internet. These people are sick, evil monsters, and I'm having trouble with the police arresting them because they're other police. But if they don't feel comfortable arresting them, they need to call the FBI. They already know what's going on down here, and they'll take care of it. They'll take care of it. And you know what? They will not appreciate when they do take care of it. You touched one of the informants against Dave in those churches. And you included yourself with drugs, kidnapping, illegal surgery, illegal photoshopping, illegal surveillance, and before that. And I didn't know you were doing it. And you had me framed before I called. And I didn't know that either. They were laughing last year. If it was anyone else, they'd be in jail on crimes they didn't commit. And Kurt, do you think it's funny framing an innocent woman? And they almost got away with it till they started bragging. And it's so funny she doesn't now. No, it's not. It's bitch biz. No, it's not. And if I have to get CNN, Channel 8, Channel 5, Channel 3, or any weird station down here, it'll go viral. They start putting cameras in their face. Did you really do this? Did you do this? This person, who raped her? Who did this? Who did that? I already put it in against judges on the internet where you turn them in. I did too. And I'll tell you what, they better be saying we already settled with her and took care of her. Because if they don't, news crews are coming next. Because and they already know you had no right in my home. These people with a low intelligence helping out here, I've taped maybe 6, 7 times of them following me. Hiring groups of people to stalk me, call me names, threaten me, make fun of me for their crimes they're doing to me. And they think it's okay. 2 idiot women walk by. We'll get her to confess to everything before we're done with her. It's like, what part of amnesia drug do you not understand? Amnesia. I go to work at Pulse. There's some guys in the basement. They were talking. It's ridiculous. They drugged her and told her to say it. And they gave her amnesia drugs and they want her to remember. Getting the idea? That's how stupid this is. And I talked to no man, no lady, no officer, no agent, no attorney. No one. And Dave defended me. And to find out that ass roofied me before, yeah, he's real fucking funny, the man that said I die at his choosing. Seen with shooters on the gunshot night. And they said that Asian lady's husband's dead, and I tried to get her help, and they raped and tortured me and put that on the internet, too. Oh, they saw the login. You can get it from Faith Family Church. You can get it from Macedonia Fire Department. Sheets in Hartville. You can get it from Youngstown Gas Station. You can get it from just about anybody. They sold it for $25 a pop. Yeah, they made millions at my expense and others. Somebody needs to stop this nation's disgrace down here where they think they're little mob lords. If they really thought I did something wrong, they'd have the police come talk to me. They never did. Didn't even ask a question. Not a damn thing. You can't just have all this against somebody and not say a word. And, oh, the police did this, blah, 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 blah. Well, they're not allowed to be involved, and I never talked to them. So there, I never talked to them. Besides, excuse me and thank you for opening the door. Yeah. So it's like, what are you talking about? They'll be lucky if they don't turn around and look at them and say, what are they talking about? It wasn't us. But I'll tell you what, the guy that raped me, they will get him because even Faith Family Church has him and they all have the login. And up in Ravenna, they know me as an informant. Because the town turned out she's an informant against her husband. We all showed up to make sure she's safe because they sold the login. Yeah. They sold the login everywhere. Okay? Like I said, staying quiet didn't matter. Even one of Daniel's teachers and my grandson, Perry Middle School, he got back in the vehicle, started laughing, said everybody knows what's going on but her family. Some guy in Paul's apartment building, his last one, said, I could hear him off in the distance. I watched Karen Around the House series. I'm a fucking series without my permission. He said, I know that ass drugged her before. You know, at one point they thought they had people to help me. Even little kids were cheering. They got someone to help Karen? Yay! The other little kids over there, did you tell them what they did to her before? Yeah, and other ones, I've been off in the distance. Can you get someone down here to help her? People don't want me to die for a young blonde whore in a store in Ravenna, and her dad's super rich and thinks he owns the police. And they can drug me, they can Photoshop me, they can tell me say something stupid. And I talked to No Man and Dave was roofing me and telling me say something stupid. And they think they're fucking funny. Yeah, and they knew he fentanyl me. 8/8/8/15 at night. Did you know he fentanyl her and told her to say it before? No, we just found out. We just didn't know. They already knew the kids were lying. They screamed it for an echo into several parking lots. So they knew. Like I said, the heavyset girl came down. right the Saturday or Sunday, about 3 o'clock after May 25th. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. We just found out they drugged her before and told her to say it. They're yelling in Compassy and they're yelling it on Fairlawn Street for everyone to hear that I was drugged, and they even knew I was drugged and told to say it before. Now, I am telling you, the only one that didn't know was me because I was drugged. It's like making fun of a girl that got roofied in a bar and was raped and doesn't know who raped her. And she was wide awake the whole time. It shuts down your conscience. Your subconscious comes up and you're sleepwalking. You have no idea what you're doing. It's not funny.